This video will show you how to replace the starter on a Toyota Matrix with a 1.8 liter engine. This will be located along the forward side of your engine. Let's get into it. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. Prior to removing the starter, we need to start at the negative battery terminal on the battery. We're going to dislodge this. We'll use a 10mm to loosen the mounting nut, just enough that we can remove the terminal end from the battery. It's loose. A quick inspection of that will set it aside so it's making no contact. Now that we have the negative battery terminal disconnected, we're going to focus on the cooling fan assembly. Let's start by dislodging our overflow hose. This can be done fairly simply by taking hold of it and sliding it away. Now we can leave this in place. We're going to focus on disconnecting our motor for the fan assembly. We'll make our way right down in this area. We can see our electrical connector. Now this has a locking tab, so we're going to have to carefully press that in and we should be able to slide this out of place. Try to squeeze this in. If you find you have a hard time squeezing by hand, you can also carefully try to use a pick. You just want to try to get underneath the locking tab from the other side. A quick inspection for corrosion. We'll continue on dislodging our electrical wiring harness along the fan. For this, I'm just going to use a trim tool so I can make my way in between the wiring harness and the fan. We'll gently pry. Now if that mounting point did happen to break, that's okay. You can use a wire tie for the installation process. We have one more anchor point making its way over underneath our upper radiator hose. That one slid out a lot easier. We can hang that aside. Now in that same area, you're going to find one of your 10mm headed mounting bolts holding this fan in place. Now you're going to find one of these on each side of the fan assembly, but something else you're going to see is on the radiator itself. As you make your way underneath this area, there's a small hooked area that the fan slides down and into. There really isn't too much to see there. I just want to make you aware of it. Let's start removing our 10mm bolt on this side, and we'll do the exact same thing on the other. Now we can see the next one right here, just underneath where our coolant overflow hose was. Now we can take hold of the fan assembly. We're going to give this a wiggle and we'll start lifting it up and away from its lower mounting points. We'll just maneuver this as necessary to carefully pull it up and out of place. We want to make sure we do not cause any damage to that fan assembly. As we make our way underneath our plastic intake along the front of the engine, we can see our starter. We're going to start with the electrical wiring harnesses. We have one that has a locking tab. We can squeeze that in and disconnect it. Press that in. We'll use a 13mm for our mounting nut. Now typically when you remove the mounting nut, you're also going to have a washer. Ours just fell off when I was removing this. I'm not worried about it. Our new starter comes with all the hardware we need. We'll just inspect the wire to confirm it's still in good usable order. We're going to clean this, but we'll wait on that. Let's continue on with the removal of the starter itself. Now looking down in this area, we can see one of our mounting bolts. We're going to start by removing this one. The next one will be located underneath our vehicle's throttle body. We'll be using a 14mm for this mounting bolt. As you try to remove this, we want to be careful if you're using a long ratchet. You don't want to cause any damage to your radiator cooling fins. There's our mounting bolt. A thorough inspection of this just to confirm it's not rotted, weak, or damaged. This looks good. Now let's make our way along the outboard side here underneath our intake. We have that bolt out. Let's make our way to the other mounting bolt. Now for this, we're going just underneath where our throttle body is. You may find that you have a wiring harness in the way. And now that I've moved that, we can see our next mounting bolt. We'll be using a 14mm for this mounting bolt. There's our next mounting bolt. Now we can take hold of that starter and carefully remove it from the engine compartment. Now if you reach in here and you cannot remove the starter, carefully tap on it. It should break free from the engine and transmission, and then you can remove it as necessary. prior to installation of any brand new part, of course, we need to make sure we clean and inspect our mounting surface. For this, I'm just using a clean rag. If you needed to, you could also use some fine sandpaper, but no detergents can make their way into the transmission. And now let's have a quick look at our power wire. This is the one that had the rubber protective boot. We're going to use some fine sandpaper. We'll give this a quick scuffing, making sure we have a positive contact area. Go ahead and clean it to the best of your ability and we'll continue on. All right, so now it's time for installation of that brand new starter. We want to make sure we remove the mounting nut for our power wire. At this point, we can take this and we'll carefully slide it into the transmission, aligning the mounting point, and we'll start in our mounting hardware. We have one of our mounting bolts. We're only starting in our mounting hardware. We are not tightening it until both pieces of hardware are properly installed. All right, that one feels good. Let's go ahead and get that outer mounting bolt next, just underneath our throttle body. Okay, they're both started in. Let's go ahead and snug them up. Once they're snugged up, go ahead and torque them to 27 foot-pounds. This is a tight area to try to get a torque wrench into. If you find you have a hard time, just make sure it's nice and tight. You can use a ratchet or a wrench, whatever's easiest for you. Now that we have both of those bolts torqued, let's continue on to our electrical wiring harness. We have our positive wire. Go ahead and slide that onto the stud attached to the starter and continue on with the brand new mounting hardware. Make sure the boot isn't caught underneath there. Okay, that's bottomed out. I'm just going to take it a tiny bit further here. I'm using a short ratchet. We don't need very much leverage. We just need to make sure it's secured. Now, after a quick wiggle, we know for sure that this is secured properly. Let's go ahead and protect the area, and we'll continue on with our next electrical connector, located just below this. For that, we're going to press it in, listen for a click, give it a light tug to confirm it's properly secured. Now it's time to install our fan shroud with fan motor. Now for this, when we go to bring it down, we want to pay attention along either side. Down along the bottom during the removal process, I had mentioned that the radiator has tabs sticking out. This lower portion on the shroud itself needs to slide over those tabs along each side. After that, we have our mounting bolt ports to align, start in those mounting bolts and tighten them up. We have our mounting bolts. Get this one started in here. Now I'm going to start in the other one and we'll continue on to snugging both. Okay, that's started in. Let's snug it up. Now that we have both of our mounting bolts in place, let's continue on with our electrical wiring harness and connector. This is going to get pressed right into the fan assembly here. Just line it up with its port. We'll press it in. The next one here. We have our electrical connector. Press it in, listen for a click, make sure that's secured in place. Let's reconnect our coolant overflow hose. That's just going to slide right onto this area of the radiator. We'll give it a tug to make sure it's secured in place. If it feels loose, use a wire tie. We'll take that terminal end, we're pressing it down onto the battery as far as possible. Using our 10mm, we'll tighten the mounting nut. Once you feel as though you have it tight, make sure it's secured to the battery. We need to have good contact here. Okay, friend, we finished the installation of our vehicle starter. Now at this point, make your way into the passenger compartment and attempt to start the vehicle several times, confirming the starter functions as it should. After that, just go ahead and close the hood and take your vehicle for a road test. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.